Hello, and this is Reroll Zero with our next part of Asterix and A Obelix. Um, I also like to thank when I was looking for walkthroughs, wishing Tikal, a user on YouTube, specifically because they had a walkthrough already for Asterix and Obelix XXL3, the Crystal Menhir. Um, Anyway, what I was gonna say, what I learned from that playthrough is the funny thing is I didn't learn the part that I needed, but I learned that you could charge the large rock that Obelix is carrying around with him, the Crystal Minher or whatever, and you can charge that when you have an element applied, like frost or fire, and do um, like a huge attack with it. Like you could freeze enemies with the frost one when you have it fully charged, and uh, with fire, you can there's not like a bigger or a different state with fire, but other than that, you can freeze stuff, and I just was like really like um uh I was just like really like I'm surprised they only like explained it like once, and so yeah, like they should have had like a tutorial. Like you should have froze a couple enemies, or froze same thing with the fire, or with the fire you kind of did that, but they didn't explain how you get these cartwheels and such, and I think it was really frustrating and all that. So anyway, so yeah, I learned about that, but anyway, so again, like previously from the first part, or from part 4, I think, I couldn't figure out for the life of me, and I was running around like an idiot, and Tyre or Phoenix, Pheonica or whatever, and I was going like, well, I don't know, and then yeah, it just kind of dawned on me, and going like, oh, because they kind of say it a little bit. Yeah, I swear I didn't watch the walkthrough for this part, because I just was like, oh, the Asterix, a smaller person, he can go through the grades or whatever. And they kind of say that in the intro, but not really, because, again, it's not directly implied, so, yeah. So in all seriousness, I just I just kind of I was just kind of that's why this was why I recorded this after or recorded at least my dialogue, my commentary after the fact, because I was just streaming this last night, because I'm going like, well, let's try and figure this out before I do anything else. And yeah, this is what you know um this is what I figured out. And again, I tried other things first before I even got to the part where you use the handheld fire for Asterix or whatever, because again, it's not it's not explained well, so you have to do a lot of guessing to. And even then, right there, I just tried. I was going like, okay, can I make a frost bridge? And I'm going like, okay, well, that's not the exact. That doesn't work. Um, so yeah. Again, thank you. Again, to, I know it's the user has tons of views anyway, but anyway, just still in general, thank you, wishing to Cal, for showing me that again, at the very least, that the rock can be charged or whatever. And again, like I was like I was just like, when you look for walkers for this game, there are a lot of them are like straight up non-existent. Like I think, yeah, at first I tried YouTube, and I think I tried looking through True Achievements. Like when you put it on Google, there is no walkthroughs for this game, like, period. And yeah, I swear a lot of these challenges would kind of, like, the difficulty would go out the window if you could jump instead of dodge rolling and just guessing. So, um, other than that, that's probably like my biggest complaint thus far. That like, okay, you know, I said there's nothing really going on, but again, like so far, it's just kind of a straightforward beat 'em up, featuring the likeness of Asterix, or the French comic Asterix, a Obelix, and other than that, I just was like, well, there's nothing too much going on, but again, like, there can still be a lot of fun had in kind of just generic beat 'em ups, because even though if there's nothing really going on, you can make your own fun. It's kind of almost, I would say, that's kind of a weird thing to say, but I would say the Call of Duty principle, I guess you could say, where if things are really kind of normal and they're kind of not mundane, but kind of like, you're kind of left to your own devices and make your own fun, and I kind of can see that with Call of Duty. I kind of almost can see that for this game, and kind of imagine it to be something better. So after I figured that out, I was going like, okay, well, where the hell is the next where was the last part of the cartwheels or whatever? So, and I couldn't remember for the life of me where the last warehouse was. So I just I walk around for a little while, and there I find it. Other than that, I just was like, I'm just kind of going like, well, the second or first place for the cartwheel should be just as easy, and it is. It's just I honestly would like to have appreciated a tutorial or something to not to not to I can't think of the word, not to what's it called? Not to, infantilize the user, or, baby the user or whatever, but it just have a tutorial in general, just to tell you, okay, A does this instead of, like, a 5-second tooltip that goes away, it's explained during when you're just beating up Romans, so... Yeah, I think what I was gonna get to is that even on a modern TV, because this is or not modern TV, but you know what, because this is a new game, if I'm not mistaken. XXL3 is a new update to the Asterix Obelix, not formula, but franchise. I think so, because again, like the other two games, I think Rumble, or at least the ones ported on Xbox, Rumble and Las Vegas, and I think XXL1, those are ported on Xbox, and those are updates or versions of old, I think PlayStation 2 beat 'em ups. So, but yeah, what I was gonna say is that it's, honestly, I don't know enough about microids to say whether or not they're bad at this, to say that, if they're bad at their job or not. I can't, say that, but yeah, it just, it's really dark in these levels, and I wish, like, there was better lighting, or at least, like, a few, like, lamps lit up instead of, Obelix with the stone being the, the sole source of light, slash, making sure that you don't run into the, I don't know, the cacti or ferns that are all over the place. I can't tell what they, exactly are, what I'm looking for, so, so yeah, I'm just, going through this last part, and I'm just kind of going like, oh, it's, it's definitely a trap. Again, these guys that toss the, or that throw the spears at you, Those are probably the most annoying because again they don't do damage, but they just stun you, and then they can stun you into damage like the sharp plants, which happened a couple times. So again, I tried to I know it's on easy as well, but again, like, there's so many things that could be improved about the base game, so I kind of feel like it could have had a more, what's it called, more testing to make sure there was a superior product to be brought into the game, so, or to be, to make the game a solidified experience, so. Or not solidified, but make it like a good experience overall. So that's my I would say my 2 cents for this whole section, and I think it's honestly like that's why I didn't want to do the side quest for this area for Pheonica for Tyre or whatever, because at the very least Thule was. All the quests were given by the village leader in Thule, or whatever, the Northern Vikings or whatever. And in Pheonica or Tyre, the quests are all over. The town, I swear, is much larger than like the first town, or maybe it's not larger, but at the very least, it's there's a lot more. Not thought, but again, like, there's such a strong difference between the first 2 towns and then this third town. Again, specifically because the quests are kind of spread out, and I think that's not good. And again, like the village leader or whatever, Razzle Dazzle or whatever. She did not give all the quests, or maybe she did, I can't remember, but I think I had one quest and I was kind of going like, I don't know, I'd rather just kind of not, or kind of give up on the side quests, because again, like, there's got to be significant incentives to keep going, especially for, what's it called, for A, upgrades, or, B, cosmetics, like costumes or something like that. And in all seriousness, there's not a big there's not incentives to unlock, like, I'm getting max energy and I'm getting the next life potion here, but again, other than that, that's just kind of gameplay and kind of just survivability. And same thing with this is that it's the combo extender, and that's kind of it. It's just you just get money for slight upgrades, and that's kind of it. Again, I wish there was, like, even though, I'm surprised in this day and age, and even though maybe it's this thing that they don't do in France, but then I'm kind of going like, wait a minute, well, Ubisoft has Ubisoft is headquartered in France, so maybe Microids just develops Asterix Obelix games, or whatever. I think there's a couple, like one or the other, or there's a couple other games developed by Microids on the Xbox Live North American store. Other than that, I don't know what else you could say on that front, so. And the funny thing is, I kind of go on my way here, and I kind of go like, well, might as well. And sorry, like, you may be wondering, like, why would I just give up on the side quest and kind of go for the laurels? Because this was just there. I didn't have to go in through any rigmarole. I didn't have to do anything, any additional tasks to get that laurel. So, same thing. I didn't have to do anything extra, so. So again, kind of going through the next couple parts, at least for this section too. I'm kind of going like, well, even though the game is set on easy, you still can take a lot of damage. So, you know, especially if you're being careless, and that's, you know, what I was pretty much doing. So I was just like, well, you know, let's try an experiment. Let's freeze the enemies and such, and, you know, put them in ice cubes and so that. And yeah, it's a funny thing to do. But again, like, I wish they would I wish they instead of just like a 5-second tooltip, or 5-second, you know, oh, do this for effect. I kind of wish they just, they had like a short video or something to tell me, oh, you can freeze enemies, you can do this, you can, you know, you can Ultra Instinct with the potion or Asterix, or you can, you know, you can send the dog after. I do remember they did say you can send the dog after him, but that was another like 5-second tip. It wasn't like a short tutorial or like a video about how the dog can chain you additional hits and all that. So. Other than that, you know, we're continuing through the section and such.
Merci,
I know I'm probably at this point, I'm sorry, I'm probably speaking over the French voice actors, and I'm sorry for that, but again, I'm just, you know, I have the video on mute, and I'm just recording over this, so, other than that, this side quest isn't so bad, because it's, again, it's part of the main, it's part of the main, goal. But again, just, you know, I'm just kind of like, you know, talking about all this stuff in general. And like literally, I'm trying to like, I'm scrambling to say stuff, and you know what I almost completely forgot about is that it's and I'm, you know, at this point I'm kind of going like, well, that's super annoying, and I don't know why the dog would just, you know, have the find the bone indicator over there, unless it was probably on the ground or something like that. I think the other thing is, and this section was pretty like interesting in the sense that you had to kind of just sneak, and that made the game, like, I would say almost more cerebral, and I was kind of like enjoying that. But then like they kind of had you needed to backtrack for specific gears or specific quest items and such, and that kind of bummed me out a little bit. So, but I forgot that I'm talking about how like Asterix and Obelix are like are just, you know, something small, but then I forgot that, like, no, never mind, Asterix and Obelix are like such a huge like French cultural phenomenon, and or, you know, in France, or, you know, Paris or whatever, that I forgot that I think they even had a Asterix and Obelix movie where Gerard Depardieu is Obelix, I think, right, if I'm not mistaken, and then I'm going like, oh yeah, like a huge French property, and then, you know, you have one of the like not one of the best, you know, because again, like, art is a subjective thing, and this is another point where I struggle with the platforming, because again, there's no jump, and I wish there was a jump instead of a dodge roll to, you know, gauge where you're supposed to go and all that. Same thing with this place too. I mess up the roll, and then I basically alert all the Romans, the guards, and then I just, you know, I go Super Saiyan / Super Instinct, or I put the Super Instinct potion or whatever, or Kaioken or whatever you want to call it. But then so I'm going like, okay, so yeah, the Asterix and Obelix movie, you have Gerard Depardieu, where, again, I hesitate to say or one of the best actors, because again, you know, art is subjective, you know, it's not, I haven't seen enough of Gerard Depardieu's French films to, you know, say if he's a truly good actor or not. I just, you know him enough because he's, you know, super famous. So, but again, like, Gerard Depardieu, he's in Cyrano de Bergerac. He's Cyrano. He's the father in, I can't think of the first film, but I know the second, the sequel, Man on the Springs. He's the father in that, you know, with I think another like venerable French actor, Daniel Auteuil, if I'm not mistaken, and he's in like a couple other like comedic movies as well. Or I mean, to be super fair, like Gerard Depardieu is probably like French IMDb page probably like goes into the thousands of like French movies and such. And I know in like these states he isn't, you know, exactly super famous or whatever, because I think the only like American movie or like Western movie he's you know, that I can think of, or at least the ones that I know that they run all the time on AMC, or, you know, I don't know if it was AMC or TBS, but they run all the time, you know, Last Holiday with Queen Latifah, and he's like a high profile chef or something like that in that movie, or like some high profile restaurateur. So I don't remember exactly, you know, all the facets about that movie, but again, like, that's the only, like, I think, or the only American movie that I can, like, think of that, like, you know, could, for Gerard Depardieu wanted to, you know, wanted to be in, or wanted to star in, or you know, a director was like, you know what, really make this movie, you know, Gerard Depardieu. So, I know I'm probably butchering his name, and I know probably, like, it's probably like Gerard Depardieu, if you know, don't like go you know, don't say it so fast and don't say it so harshly, but I have to say it fast. The funny thing is, I was just like, I already said I'm like scrambling to talk about stuff, and then I'm going like, oh wait, well, there's this whole thing about the movie, and but yeah, Gerard Depardieu is, I think, is, if I'm not mistaken, Obelix, because I don't think he'd be Asterix, not to be rude to, you know, Depardieu or whatever, because I remember that Gerard Depardieu is kind of, to put it the most nice way possible, portly, or sorry, not portly, like round, and yeah, so he's round, so honestly he'd probably be Obelix. Again, same thing, I don't remember if he's Obelix, he could be Asterix. But again, other than that, I don't know too much else, which is, sorry, that was a long tangent about, the Asterix and Obelix movie. You know what the funny thing is, I'm surprised that they're, hang on, I'm gonna take a drink. I'm kind of surprised that there hasn't been like a huge push for a animated, like 3D animated Asterix and Obelix movie, which I'm probably sure there's somebody, there was a group probably in France that have made it, but I'm surprised that like no push for like Western audiences or outside of like, you know, France, were, you know, have been like clamoring for like, oh yeah, let's release it to North America. That's, you know, gonna get tons of, you know, big bucks and all that. So, and anyway, I think that's the only thing I could say about Asterix Obelix outside of this game, outside of the comics, and outside of you know, outside of my knowledge. The funny thing is, I knew nothing about Asterix Obelix before I started playing this game. And, you know, all the memories start flooding, you know, back, and I'm kind of going like, wow, I can't believe that, you know, there's all this, you know. I think I think I said it previously before, when uploading your putting the tags for Asterix Obelix, because there's like 10, 20 Asterix Obelix games. But anyway, sorry, what I was getting back to the tangent about was I think the only thing I had to go on or remember was that in the French textbook that we had for, I think, French 1, they had like a 1 or 2 page snippet about Asterix Obelix, and that was it, which is kind of funny because like I would assume something as huge as a comic would warrant more pages. But again, same thing. I'm kind of surprised because I know it's like I'm surprised there wasn't like a thing for 1010, but I think that's another thing to discuss for another day. But I just remember that there was just 1 page snippet about Asterix and Obelix, and I was just going like, all right, hang on, I'm gonna take another drink. It is a hot one today as well. I'm just surprised at like something so something that just like like a blink and you're done type thing would have like remained active in my mind for a while, and I would have remembered enough to like say like, hey, might as well try out this game, it might be fun. And again, it's like fun like every now and then. It's not like it's not super fun, but again, it could be, again, like I was saying, it can or could be better. And yeah. So the good thing is we have gotten to the next part of the level, Dina Fofum, I guess, and it's to get rid of that chain, and yeah, it was kind of just the rest of the stage is kind of forward. I think like the one of the things that I'm gonna complain about, especially definitely for level criteria, is that the level criteria, because this time I was like, well, might as well, why am I destroying all the tents? I could probably just run to the end, and I pretty much did that, or almost did that, and because like the criteria for getting a good score is almost like as difficult as, or not difficult, but like I don't pay attention that well. But anyway, the criteria for like getting a good score, getting the gold medal, as it were, for Asterix and Obelix is like defeat enemies, complete the level in a fast amount of time, don't use health packs or health items, and how many times the guards were alerted by the red like bugle or trumpet guy. And I kind of go like, I wish they kind of explained that so that you could do better in general, but no, they never explained that either. So I think it was like super annoying too that like I think at one point I'm still like defeating the tents, and enemies are coming out of the tent that's already destroyed, I think, and I'm just kind of going like, well, that's a bit awkward, but yeah, just I keep on going through each section and such, and at first I was like, well, you know what, let's see what's down here, and then I go like, okay, water. The good thing is about the water in this game, at least it's not like a, I could say at least for one thing, that it's not an instant death, it just resets you, where you were. So, I'm glad for that. Other than that, gosh, I was gonna say same thing, or you know, make the game as easy as possible. I think it's super annoying that like you can't trigger these switches until you defeat all the guards, but at the same time that's good, because then if you didn't have to defeat the guards, then you would just activate the switches and go on to the into the level. So anyway, you know, we continue the level, and you know, we're almost done with it. And again, like I was saying, is that I kind of wish they gave you criteria for doing well on the level before, you know, you didn't have to, or find out after the fact and then just be annoyed that you didn't get the criteria for getting, you know, or getting the most, or, because I think getting the gold medal or whatever, it gives you the most money, and whatnot, so, what else can I say? I think one other just thing that I'm disappointed about is that, when you, like, charge up a full elemental attack, like the fire, it doesn't, like, destroy the tints faster like you would expect it to, and yeah, that's one of the things. So yeah, that's one thing that's like kind of like annoying, that I kind of wish that, you know, was a better thing in general. Other than that, yeah, the same thing is like I don't know what else to say. Other than that, at the very least, I think this mission was or this level was at least quick. The levels in this game, it kind of they're like, they get to be like really like oh yeah, like right there the enemies are just spawning from a defeated camp, so I'm going like, you know what, whatever, I'm just gonna try and get to the end or whatever. So, and the good thing is you just have to activate the switch right there, so yeah, that's what I can, can say is, it's better that you can just activate the switch and you don't have to defeat all the enemies like the previous, like, a mid-gate part of the game. So other than that, thank you for watching. I am Reroll Zero, your host, and again, thank you for watching. But I think that's a good, portion to finish. So thank you again for watching, and have a good rest of your day.